Howdy do y'all, this is John, and today I'm counting down my top 10 least favorite movies of the year. These are the worst movies I have seen this year, period, end of discussion. Obviously, this is all up to my opinion. You guys can disagree with me if you want to. Alright, so let's get this inferno of a video rolling, and I am starting with my number 10 pick. So number 10 is Lightyear. Now I understand I gave this movie a 3 out of 10 and stuff back when I reviewed it in June. However, the more this movie has marinated in my mind, the worse it has become. As a Pixar fan, I am insanely disappointed. As a Pixar fan, I am insanely disappointed. As a Buzz Lightyear fan, I am just annoyed. Number 9 is Jurassic World Dominion. What happened here? Jurassic Park started off as something more than just a science fiction story. There was elements of reality in Jurassic Park. Now granted, in the original movies, some of that science has become dated. However, Jurassic Park never felt like just a generic sci-fi movie. This movie's a generic sci-fi movie, which is something Jurassic Park should not be. Number 8 is Firestarter. Firestarter had potential. The book is a very good idea, and adapting it into film would not be a bad idea. However, twice now that has happened, and both times the end result is lackluster. In the original 80s movie, they did not have the technology to pull this off at all. Now we do, and what happens? Everything sucks. Number 7 is Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Now I know this is probably not a very popular pick on this list, but as someone who grew up with Chippendale Rescue Rangers, I was very unflattered by this film. The movie does not resemble the Chippendale Rescue Rangers cartoon that I remember growing up with, and it instead has more in common with a standard meta Disney film. Number 6 is First Person Shooter. This entire movie has the quality of a Sci-Fi Channel movie, however it is instead on a streaming service called Tubi. The movie's very boring, the characters are uninteresting, the CGI is terrible, and at the end of the day, the movie is just bad. Number 5 is The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. I remember when I was a kid, Ice Age was everywhere. Nowadays, it's because of stuff like Buck Wild that Ice Age is being forgotten. Buck Wild is just a pointless, bad spin-off that never needed to happen. And the talent behind that movie were clearly not as strong as the talent behind the original Ice Age. Number 4 is Strange World. What is wrong with Disney this year? Strange World is just simply a movie that never should have happened. It's visually very good looking, but at the end of the day, Strange World is about as rotten as a bad apple. Number 3 is Rosaline. They took the story of Romeo and Juliet, made it entirely about Romeo's ex, and added in a lot of modern TikTok trends, modern, clickbait stuff. And at the end of the day, everything that remotely resembled the Shakespeare classic is just destroyed. Number 2 is The Princess. Long story short, The Princess is the type of movie you would get when you take the old idea of the fairy tale and then throw in a lot of 2022 nonsense, a forced feminist message, and basically make a movie that is a faux fairy tale. And number 1 is The Noel Diary. The only reason I watched this movie was for content reason, and I was immediately regretting it. Long story short, take every generic Christmas rom-com. You throw every generic thing into that Christmas rom-com, and you get movies like The Noel Diary. Well, that is my list for the 10 worst movies of the year, in my opinion. Obviously, you can have whatever opinions you want. I know some people will probably argue that movies lower on my list should be the worst, or movies that aren't even on my list. Ultimately, this is just how I feel personally. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Badetsky will return.